Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you're watching in the world, welcome along to One Hub Racing Season 15 of the Pinnacle tier, sponsored of course by Next Level Racing. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me in the commentary box for this fantastic season opener is Mr. Jamie Metcalf. Jamie, long time no see, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Yeah, obviously we've had a pretty long off season, and we were planning this season, and a few changes, and obviously this is now the top tier, and I'm very excited for this race. And there's a lot of really good drivers in this tier, and it should be a good one and a good track as well.
Yeah, fantastic track. One of my favourite tracks in league racing. It just offers so much action all of the time, and it's pretty funny actually, because some of the pre-race interviews, one of the questions that was asked was, do you expect a safety car during tonight's race? And overwhelmingly mixed answers coming from all of the drivers. Shapalele said no. Just having a scroll through, Lakitu, he said yes. Zach said, oh yes, for a safety car. You've also got... just having a quick scroll through. It's on the next page now, but you get the idea. There's a pretty mixed results here for that question. Hamilton there says, are you expecting a safety car? 100%, 100% there's going to be a safety car from Hamilton. So you get the idea. Lots of different opinions, mostly for yes, that there is going to be a safety car. But Jamie, let's talk about the first race of the season feelings. I mean, it's a position you've been in before.
Yeah.
Do you approach this race any differently, any others?
Well, what you tend to do, because obviously you've had the off season, you tend to practice more for this first race because you've got more time to prepare for it. Obviously, it's been a couple of weeks since the qualifying night and 2 weeks since the tier announcements, and these guys have been busy in that period trying to find teams and teammates, and you do tend to find more time to practice the first race. And obviously, everybody's on 0 points, so drivers at this moment, there should be their maximum motivation. And obviously there's new drivers, there's new drivers in every tier, and drivers moving up. So, it's an interesting one, because the dynamic is quite interesting in this tier, because a lot of these drivers got 3 of our 4 champ classes in this tier, which is good to see, obviously. And, I think first race season, special, because everyone's on 0, and you never know what's going to happen, because there's new dynamics.
Yeah, fresh, clean slate to start with. But what's an important thing for this season is it's pretty much going to be a repeat of season 13. Shorter season, but what this means, Jamie, is the mandatory 2-stop returns to season 15. So lots of aggressive strategies should be involved here. So drivers should be taking less of the harder tyres, more of the softer tyres. But even then, the abrasive condition of this track, tyre wear's pretty high here. So what kind of strategy should we be expecting around here?
Well, what I'm told is that obviously you've got the 3 harder tyres on offer. You've got the C1, C2, C3, and I believe that the tyre strategy ideally is 2 sets of soft tyres for medium, either on your second stint or your third stint, or if you're starting out top 10, you may fancy starting on medium to get them out of the way. But I believe that's a viable strategy. From what I'm told, the hard tyres are going to be a little bit too slow, and they'll last a long time, but it's not the pace of the other 2 tyres. So ideally, you want to have 2 sets of softs and a set of mediums.
So all that's really left to do, Jamie, we've introduced ourselves. We're obviously the reserve commentators. Hopefully Alex will be back with you for the regularly scheduled event. However, we're taking you through the drivers' lineup as it stands. And first of all, we start off with the Mercedes of Paris Burel and Danny MG. Paris Burel obviously being a One Hub Premium member, so we thank him very much for his donation. Into the Ferrari then, Lakitu, who is a One Hub Premium member, alongside T1000 Zach. In the Red Bulls, it is the man from Jersey, Ollie Flavel, and Midnight. Just having a look there, Flavel is a One Hub Premium member. For the Renault team, we have Westy and Josh M. Westy obviously being a One Hub Premium member. For the Haas team, we have Hamilton and Harry B, who are a good partnership, and obviously Hamilton there being a One Hub Premium race member. In the McLarens, we have Shapalele, a One Hub Premium member, and alongside him will be Toxic Tomato. Into the Racing Point cars, if I just have a look here, it is Lion and Leroy. In the Alfa Romeo, so far only Ventink has taken the car so far, but he should be joined alongside Philip Smith for the season. Looking on to Toro Rosso, we have Wyatt Fountain, who is a One Hub Racing Premium member, and alongside him will be the Dutch driver of Cohen. And then finally for the Williams, it is Louis Welsh and Rafa being a One Hub Premium member. Now, that is one heck of a grid.
Yeah, it's really good, really competitive, and yeah, I mean, look at them two Mercedes drivers. Them two Mercedes drivers are the guys that topped the qualifying night, and we had obviously had the world record from Danny in qualifying night, and it's his debut. And I'm looking at that, and I think the two strong teams may look out for the Williams and the Mercedes. They've got 3 or 4 excellent drivers, but the other guys behind, like Ferrari and McLaren, who'll be looking to maybe slip in there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a very interesting grid indeed, and lots of One Hub Racing Premium members there. Fantastic to see. Thank you so much for your support this season going forward. Their rewards include a guaranteed race seat, a lovely personalised driver stat on the bottom of the forums there, so you can see exactly what their history has been with One Hub, whether they're just starting out or whether they've been here for years and years and years. But yeah, if you do want to find out how to become a One Hub Race Premium member, make sure you go to the website onehubracing.com. Click on the top banner there, which should be Race Premium along the top. I didn't have to look at that, not for a second, but there it will tell you more about how to apply, when you can start, and also the benefits that come along with being a premium member. So we do thank everyone who is a premium member so far, and hopefully if you want to, you can also sign up even if we're halfway through the season, if you really want to. So do check it out if you have the time, but obviously not right now, because we're heading into qualifying for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Opening night qualifying for this one, and as you said, Jamie, we had some very quick times in the qualifying night, so quick in fact that we've never seen a qualifying night as quick as that. It set the record, set the bar very high, so it's fair to say we should be seeing some record-breaking laps.
Yeah, I believe, from what I've heard, the pole lap, if around here, pole lap will be probably in the high 25s, and I think a few guys on that in practice, and obviously in practice a little bit less pressure on you, but now this is where the pressure's really on. Obviously now with the 2-stop, all these guys, they're going to get probably 3 runs in soft tyres, so there's going to be none of that waiting at the end, sitting the mediums on. Everybody going out with soft tyres, trying to get a lap, because track position around here was going to be critical.
It absolutely is, and the thing about when we head to Bahrain, it is just a fantastic track to be racing at, let alone it being the first race of the season, and the first person out on track here for the new season is Zach in the Ferrari. And obviously, Jamie, you're the head of the team, so you get to have a long discussion with each team principal about which drivers to sign. How difficult was it to finalise these 20 cars?
It was quite difficult, but in the end, I looked at the applications like a couple of days later, and what I saw was this tier was probably easy to do, because I saw the right guys part of the right teams, and the fact the Williams team had about 10 applicants. But when I saw Louis apply for that team, I knew, and you can't reject the reigning champion in a seat. And obviously, with Mercedes, people like Burrell, who is obviously a really quick driver. He's been with us in the past, yet to win a race, but he's had a lot of pole positions and podiums. And midnight last season in Red Bull, he joined the Red Bull quite late on last season. He did a really good job in that Red Bull, and he applied for that seat instead of keeping Lakito as well, a guy who was probably one of our most impressive drivers last season. He has such great passion and commitment, and he deserved that Ferrari seat for sure. And a few of the other teams, well, you've got the likes of Hamilton, who was racing in the precision tier last season at Haas. He loved that car, so he decided to keep him in there. So yeah, it's difficult, but I think in the end it's common sense dictated.
Well, let's take you on a flying lap here of the Sakhir circuit as we ride aboard with Zach then heading down towards turn 1. Very heavy braking zone. Watch the curb on the inside there. It can unsettle the car. Now heading through turn 2 and turn 3. The back end wants to pretty much oversteer through turn 2, so you've got to be really careful about how you set the car up. Now heading up the hill towards turn 4. Again, curb on the inside. A little bit bumpy as you head through the middle of the corner, and then it should be flat relatively on the exit. Now heading through the first real S section of the track through turn 7. Hit the curb on the right hand side. Now down towards towards turn 8, use the curb on the left-hand side at your peril. It can really cost you tenths of a second, especially if you lock up. Now heading through turn 9 and into the difficult braking zone of turn 10. So much so that the legendary Michael Schumacher locked up there once. That's how difficult that corner is. Down the back straight, heading towards turn 11. DRS wide open here. Use that left or right-hand side, I should say, as much as possible. Turn in then for the uphill section now. Watch that curve on the right hand side. Again, it can really unsettle the car. Flying through turn 12 now, using the curve on the left hand side to open up the next corner at turn 13. The apex of this corner is very late, so be patient on turning in and putting the throttle down over the crest and then under the crest, whatever you want to call it. Now heading down towards the double right hander of 14 and 50. Yep, there are two corners here. Don't judge me on that one, but now heading towards the start-finish line, DRS wide open, straight as line as possibly you can. And Zach then sends the first lap time of the season with a 1:26.889 on a set of the soft tyres. And what the two-stop does promote, Jamie, is more aggressive strategies, therefore less chance of drivers setting lap times on the medium tyres as Shapalele quickly goes top, then is replaced instantly by Josh M with a 1:26.588.
Yeah, exactly. It means, obviously, most drivers, you get a choice of tyre selection at the start of the qualifying, and the majority of these drivers will probably go for the soft tyre, which means you get 4 sets of tyres for the qualifying and 1 set for the race. 3 sets of tyres for the qualifying and 1 for the race. And obviously then you have your set of medium hards for the race. And what that does mean is that you sort of committed to doing 2 softs in the race, because you won't have a second set of mediums. So, yeah. You see guys out in the medium tyres, there's a couple of guys like Louis White fighting out in the hards, majority out in the mediums, as Rafa set a really good lap there with 26.2. That's quite a good banker lap for the Williams returning driver.
Absolutely, and Rafa was called to the drivers' press conference, and in the drivers' press conference, if you are called to it, you're asked one question. That's it. But it's one of the most it's the toughest question that can possibly be asked for you, as asked by Nick Egan. He was asked in the press conference by Nick. He said, "Welcome back. How much did you bribe Lewis to carry you to a Constructors' Trophy?" In response, Rafa said, "I didn't have to bribe Lewis. We're really good friends off track and we both know how strong the other person can be." So it was clear that pretty quickly we would team up. And I have to say, Williams here, we've said it before, Jamie, Williams do have a tendency to pick some absolutely fantastic teams.
Yeah, Williams have got the most wins in one of history, and they've had some really good drivers in the past, the likes of Jono, who won two drivers' championships, and yeah, they've also had other good drivers like B-Stas, he won a championship for them once, and I think Louis raced with Williams in the past. So yeah, it's quite a popular team. But the reason why Lewis picked the Williams, was because he said this in the chat, was because it's at the end of the pit lane. So I don't know if we're able to believe that or not. But that's what he said. So as Paris to set a lap there, he's gone to second place. The 2 Mercedes are about 3 tenths off Rafa in the Williams.
Yeah, having a look at previous winners that are in the current lineup right now. I'm just having a look. Westy has won here once, so has White Fountain. So 2 previous race winners, they know what it takes to win around here, but obviously in a group of 19 other competitive drivers, that's not going to be as easy this time around.
No, yeah, they were in lower tiers, and this is there's a lot of people waiting for White Fountain and Westy to be in the top tier now. Now they get to see how they do, and I think they'll fare quite well. I'm not sure they'll be right with the top guys, but I think they'll sort of that midfield quite nicely. And what White Fountain and Westy are good at, they're good at being consistent, and they can avoid the mistakes. And if they can do that, they can get some good results this season for sure.
Yeah, they absolutely can. Westy now making his way towards the pit lane, I believe this is. Yeah, it's a very crowded pit lane at this moment in time. But yeah, the 2-stop strategy, the mandatory 2-stop, is going to be so crucial because, Jamie, there's always one driver that forgets. I wonder if across all 3 tiers tonight, I wonder if it's going to hit double digits. You never know.
Yeah, there was an infamous example of season 13 where the podium tier championship, the guy leading the championship at Silverstone, he was 24 points ahead of the guy that was behind him, and I believe there was only like 8 cars left in the race. He was leading the race. He forgot to pit, and guess what? The guy behind the championship in second place, so he got disqualified. He lost the championship by 1 point. If he just pitted, he would have won the championship easily, but he forgot to pit and he lost the championship in the most stupid way ever.
Well, they say some bad results can define a season. Well, that's absolutely correct there. There's Flavel in the Red Bull. Kind of difficult not to picture him in a Red Bull, in all honesty. It's either that or the McLaren, which he loves so dearly, taken to his heart as well. But the man from Jersey now coming around the final 2 corners, you could technically call them, and onto the main straight to start a new flying lap. What do you expect from the man from Jersey this season, Jamie?
Well, he had a mixed season last season, and obviously in the Pinnacle tier, which was the second tier, he had a really good start. I remember Australia, he went really well there, and then he sort of dipped a little mid-part season, but he ended the season really strong. And I think him and Midnight, believe it or not, Midnight actually lives in Jersey as well, so they call themselves Team Jersey if you want. But yeah, I think he can do quite well. I think he's definitely top 10 material, and I think Red Bull will be happy with this pairing.
That's
they've got a
Zach.
spinner.
Yes, that was Zach at turn 7 there. Almost did a Lewis Hamilton of previous years, I believe 2007 or 2008. He's got onto the curb, lost the back end and headed straight for the wall. That's an entire front wing gone, but to be honest with you, he's lucky he's still got 4 wheels on that wagon, but it's going to be a long limp back towards the pit lane in one of the worst places to lose a front wing in Formula 1 when you've got this high aero-dependent section ahead of you.
Yeah, definitely. I believe last season we had a driver, I can't remember who it was, but last season the Pinnacle tier, the driver who binned it the final few laps, can't remember who it was in that section. It's quite a difficult, treacherous section, and yeah, it's caught out a few drivers in the past.
Well, we were talking about first races of the season and how it's great to get a good start under your belt and no DNFs. It's just a nice time to actually get some track time. White Fountain, though, first race this season, do you take a different approach, which was asked of them in the pre-race interviews? And he said, not this season, I'm probably somewhere near the back, so I'm just going to take it easy and see where I end up. Well, he was one of the 20 fastest drivers in qualifying night, so if that's taking it easy, I'm not entirely sure what to expect.
No, I think there's a bit of mind games going on here. I think White Fountain, I think he's obviously not used to racing the top tier. I think it'll take a little bit to get accustomed to it, but I think he's definitely up for it. I think he wants to prove it, and I think he's been waiting for this opportunity, obviously, and now he's effectively moved up 2 tiers, effectively, even though because the top 2 tiers have merged. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how he does, and I think a lot of drivers are. And he's about to do his first lap of soft tyres, so we'll get to see where he stands up pace-wise. But he says he hasn't been much practice. I don't know whether I believe him or not.
And when he had discussions with his teammate about goals for the season, he said he haven't discussed that yet, but it's clear to see who's the first and second driver. Cohen is much faster. Now that is punching up, really, because you're saying you expect big things of him this season, Jamie.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I think Cohen had a good end to last season, didn't he? He had a few good results in the Pinnacle tier. I think those two were quite evenly matched. So I think White Fountain, he should have a bit more confidence in himself, because I think he can do quite well. And obviously, from what I've heard, Bahrain is his best track. As he loses it in the S's there, he gets a little bit twitchy and his tyres burn out a little bit there, and that's his lap gone. So it's down to 1 lap and the soft tyres. Pressure on White Fountain now.
Yeah, pressure indeed. On provisional pole position with just under 7 minutes to go, it is Rafa still on that 1:26.2 that he set earlier on. Josh actually second 1:26.2 as he makes his way back towards the pit lane. Let's have a look at Danny then. Jamie's saying he's on a good lap. This better live up to it, Jamie, as we head towards the final 2 corners. Let's see if you're right. Heading towards the start-finish line. DRS will open now as we head towards that start-finish line. And you absolutely called it, Jamie. 26.143, which puts him on provisional pole position.
Yeah, and a good lap then. Surely we're going to get in the 25s at the end of the track, amps up a little bit, and the drivers take a few more risks.
I've got to say as well that obviously it's kind of nip and tuck that drivers have to take wet tyres to a track, as Lewis puts it on provisional pole 26.0 from the Williams driver. They always take wet weather tyres to Bahrain, and I always think, what was the point? What are you really expecting rain? I mean, I know they have to take them, but really?
Yeah.
In a desert?
No, I don't. It's stupid. I believe it rained on a Thursday once at the Grand Prix, but never when the car's been out on track. So yeah, it's a bit stupid, a bit of waste of rubber there from Pirelli. But you know, you have to be safety first. So you have to. You never
That's very
know
true.
what may happen.
Yeah, very true, very true. But well, let's see how it all pans out. You never know. Never rule out rain. because it's rained in Singapore and I didn't even know that was possible. So
No.
always take that for granted. Is Paris Burel, meanwhile, I've heard him say in the past that One Hub, for whatever reason, is a bit of a hex to him. He can get results elsewhere, but just doesn't seem to work for him whenever he gets behind a car in One Hub.
Yeah, I believe in season 11 he raced, season 10 I think he raced, and he got a pole in his debut in Australia, and then I believe him and MLA had a collision, and since that race, I think his confidence One Hub has dropped a little bit. He's had a lot of pole positions, but he's not quite turned it into a race win. He's had 5 podiums and 4 poles, but he's yet to get that elusive win. I believe this season he can definitely do it, and he's one of my top 5 drivers I think win the title.
Top 5. Well, if we're on the subject of that one, Jamie, then who do you think has the best chance of winning this championship?
I know Danny topped the qualifying night, but I always have a favouring for I always think the drivers. I always think Lewis. I think he seems to have such good pace, and I think him, Danny, Rafa, Paris Burel, and someone like Chapelani could spin a surprise or two. I'm not sure he'd be if there's a few issues ahead. I think Chapelani could spin a surprise too. He joined the Prestige tier quite late on last season. He won the Constructors' Championship by doing 2 races, which is a pretty good effort. He got a trophy for that, so he should be quite happy with that. But yeah, I believe he did one race in Russia where he was matching Lewis all race, so I think he can contend. And look at Josh at Midnight. They're 2 other drivers who have had good form as well. There's drivers like Lakita. Lakita had a really good qualifying night lap time. I'm not sure whether I put him down as a championship contender, but he can definitely get a few podiums.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd love to just take part in 2 races and be able to walk away with a trophy. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, Sakhir was the only car out on track. He was on an outlap. We've had other cars join onto the track, Cohen being one of them. 27.5 from him so far. Still yet to see a lap from Toxic Tomato in the McLaren. And I'm just trying to figure out which team is running solo here tonight. I think it's
the Alpha.
It's the Alfa Romeo, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, Philip Smith's not here, so he's our guy that's absent. So yeah, Philip Smith obviously joined the Pinnacle tier quite late on last season, and he had good pace, but he never really strung it together in a race. So yeah, I'm excited to see how he does. Obviously, his debut in his tier will be next week in Manicourt there in Paul Ricard.
Absolutely. Well, Hamilton, who's currently in the pit lane. He's obviously there was one question there. Does the first race of the season mean you take a different approach? And he said, honestly, I'm just going to see how my pace is in this tier. Last season I was keeping it with the top guys in precision, but the guys in Pinnacle are basically aliens. So I'm just going to do my best and see how my pace is. And I think the first race of the season is always a good indicator of what's going to happen in the season to come. I mean, it's a shorter season. It's a 2-stop strategy, so it's much more hectic than a full season. So I think, for Hamilton, he's just going to take everything as it comes in this first race and see what happens. Yeah, but you can't afford to be too cautious. Because it's only 10 races, so you've got to try and. I can understand being cautious, but you've got to try and. You've got to go for it at some stage, and obviously with this short season, DNFs are going to be very costly. If you have a DNF, and then that could kill your championship. Yeah, absolutely. Just a reminder about the championship standings. Do remember that 26 points are on offer for top 10 and outside of the top 10. Well, actually, if you think about that, that's a Murrayism in itself. But what I was meant to say was there are points on offer outside of the top 10, which encourages drivers to try and get to the checkered flag. Obviously, we have the normal and traditional nowadays. Fastest lap inside of the top 10, but we also run a point for fastest lap outside of the top 10 in order to try and encourage drivers to get to the checkered flag. So expect around lap 24, lap 25 of this race to be hectic laps to the start-finish line. Just under a minute to go now in the first qualifying session of the season, and this man, Lewis, is on pole position right now by just over, or exactly a tenth of a second ahead of Danny in the Mercedes, who's actually just coming towards the line then to start his flying lap Down towards turn 1 he goes, and this is going to be a hectic last few seconds, so hold on to your hats.
Yeah, Nikita was on lap there, and he was on a quite good lap when he comes to the final corner, and the racing point of Leroy was out in the racing line, and that totally balked Nikita's lap, so I won't be surprised that goes to the stewards.
Well, Lakitu has retired from qualifying altogether, P13. He will go no higher. Toxic Tomato has really got to try and string this lap together because he hasn't set a lap time at all yet as he heads through turn 4. And you can see there Lakitu at turn 1, pulled off to the side, retired from this qualifying session. Lewis is now making his way up towards turn 4, just trying to keep a check of everything. Checker flag is now out. Westy is up to 11th place. Flavel in 15th, never actually came out again, as we have Harry B crossing the line there, and that is 16th place for him at this moment in time. We've got a Red Bull coming towards the line. That is Midnight, currently in 8th place. In fact, no, it's not, because is that Flavel, I wonder? Yes, it is, making his way around the final corner. There was a checkered flag next to his name, but he does seem to be in control of his car as he makes his way towards the DRS zone and now towards that start-finish line. Where will he go up the table? It's a 27.225, which I think it was the lap he set anyway. Midnight heads towards the line. Paris Bureau goes up to P5. Midnight goes up to P7. There's a Toro Rosso coming towards the line, but who is it? It's White Fountain who dives in towards the pit lane. Danny finishes the session. P2 for him so far as White Fountain retires from this one. Chapalele there at the final corner. Toxic Tomato gets into the top 10 then. P9 for him. We've got Taze Leroy got up there into P8. Lion comes back into the pit lane. Not going to finish that lap. How about Lewis? Does he go faster? Yes, he does. 25.9 from Lewis. Can anyone match that? Cohen goes up to P12. How about Chapalele heading towards the line? Onto the second row of the grid for him. 3rd place. But that means then qualifying is done and dusted. The first qualifying session of the season is over. And on pole, it is Lewis in the Williams.
Yeah, he just got into them 59s in the end there, but a lot of guys in the end, they did improve, I believe. I was expecting a lot of guys to improve, but the multi-drivers not improved. Track conditions were quite difficult for them.
Well, here is your qualifying results then. Lewis is on pole position for the first race of the season. Danny in 2nd, Chapalele 3rd with Rafa in 4th, Josh M in 5th with Paris Bureau in 6th, Midnight in 7th, Leroy 8th, Lion in 9th, and Toxic Tomato rounds out the top 10 with his one and only lap of the session. Zach in 11th, Cohen in 12th, Westy 13th, Ventink in 14th, Hamilton 15th, Lakitu 16th, Flavel 17th, Harry B in 18th, and White Fountain in 19th place. So that is your qualifying standings so far. Of course, the top 10 have to start on the tyre they qualified on. Anyone outside the top 10 is free to start on whatever tyre they like. But one of them, well, I mean, they've all got to remember that it is a two-stop mandatory in this race. And at a track like this, I'm going to say the safety car probability is going to be quite high.
Yeah, if I'd say so, because this track, you do have a lot of slipstreaming, and it can go wrong at cases, especially such a tight field, And turn 1, you've got to be careful turn 1 up. Nobody does the old Johnny Herbert turn 1. Hopefully that doesn't happen here, but yeah, you just got to be really careful. And it's quite a difficult start, actually, because it's quite a slow chicane, and it's not the best turn 1 in the world, but yeah, safety car, I do expect to come out, because I think a few guys, they may chuck it in the hedge, because that middle sector on 1 tyres is quite difficult.
Absolutely, but we're just waiting now to get onto the grid and start the first formation lap of the season. It'll give us an idea of what strategies drivers are on for this one. But as we said before, the track degradation, or the tyre degradation, I should say, the track degradation, if it was degrading, we'd be severely worried. But the tyre deg here, it is quite high, to be honest with you. So it kind of favours the two-stop strategy. Yeah,
it's quite, definitely. I've actually seen in league racing sometimes could do a two-stop because I feel like it's quicker, even though it tends to be quicker than one-stop. Yeah, the two-stop it's definitely a thing which gets them soft tyres, because these guys sat in the one softs, they wear out a lot quicker, and I believe they'll pit around lap 6, lap 7. And most guys, I believe they're doing their medium stint in the middle, so it extends their stint, so that ensures them in terms of safety car, and I believe they're going soft in the end. But a few guys will definitely alter that, as I'll quickly mention our sponsor, Next Level Racing. Obviously, this is the second season Next Level Racing sponsored us, and obviously last season our 4 drivers champions got their wheel stands, and I believe White Fountain, Westy, Next Seisman and Louis all got them through the mail, and obviously this season that continues. So our three champions will get a wheel stand. I see Mercedes has spun on a formation up there. That's not good start for him. But yeah, go onto the website Next Level Racing. You better see all the great sim racing gear.
Absolutely, it definitely gets you 2-3 tenths of a second. That's no shadow of a doubt. But Lewis on pole position for the first race of this season. Just looking at strategies, obviously the top 10 have to start. They're locked in to their qualifying tyre. Zach, Cohen, Westy and Ventink all starting on the medium tyres. Hamilton in 15th starting on the softs, with Lakitu there on the mediums, Flavel and Harry B on the soft tyres, and White Fountain in 19th place starting on the medium tyres. Thank goodness we're not seeing anyone start on the hard tyres, Jamie. But what this tells me is, well, the thing we're going to have to try and assume here is it going to be one medium tyre stint or two?
I've seen past races. Some guys gone for two medium tyres stint, but I've seen some guys for two softs. I believe these top guys have slightly better tyre wear. I think they'll go for two softs, but that's just interesting. But what do you do in second stop? Because the two soft, it opens up the opportunities for medium and soft in second stop. So yeah, I'm not sure, but it should be a good one. And the undercuts around here, that'll be a massive factor as well, because the undercut is very powerful around Bahrain.
Absolutely, but now the drivers take their places on the starting grid for the first round of One Hub Racing here for a brand new season, Season 15, sponsored by Next Level Racing, as the drivers line up and await the starting procedure. The red lights start counting up and the nerves build for this first race of a brand new season. Let's see how it all unfolds with Lewis on pole position. Any moment now we'll see the red lights count up to the beginning of a brand new season. Here it is 5 red lights. We are underway, and what are the starts like? It's a great start from the Williams of Lewis. Also a great start from Danny. Look out for Chapelele. We've already got a Ferrari into the wall in the background now. That looked like it was Lakitu. Now heading down towards turn 1. Can everyone keep it clean then? Through the first few corners of this track, you can see Chapelele getting the move done on Danny. Or has he? Because they're running side by side now up through turn 4. Let's see how that battle's developing. Danny managing to hold on to P2 for now, but look at Lion there, right on the inside of the corner as we head through turn 4. Everybody's made it clean through the first couple of corners. Oh, Lion lost the back end there. He could lose a position to Midnight, which he has, and he's got his teammate right behind him there. Got to be very careful about applying the power at turn 4. Meanwhile, Hamilton has dropped a position to Westy. Josh M is right behind Rafa here, but Rafa's onto the curb here, trying to battle away with Chapelele as we head through turn 9 and onwards now towards turn 10. Lion is down the inside in towards turn 10. Can he stop that car in time? He just about did it with a slight bit of contact, but Toxic Tomato is able to take that position back as we now head all the way towards turn 11. Watch out for Paris Burel, who tries to make a move up the inside of Toxic Tomato. That's actually the Renault there of I'm trying to work out. This is Josh M. That's who it was, as we now head in towards turn 13, and it's obviously a very late apex through 13, so it's very easy to understeer and miss the corner completely, kind of like what Midnight did there. He did understeer onto the curb, compromises your exit, and the run down towards turns 14 and 15. The 150 meter board has been smacked clear. It no longer exists going into that corner, but look at this now, running in single line formation as we head towards turn 1 for the second time. Lewis leads from Danny, and Chapelele rounds out the top 3, with Toxic Tomato looking ominously at the back of Paris Burel as we head towards turn 1 for the second time in this race. 3 wide we are down towards turn 1 here, as in trying to get a good camera angle here, but they all managed to get back into formation, or have they? White Fountain trying to battle away with Hamilton for P15, and White Fountain gets the move done. He's up a position. Watch out for Westy then, as Paris Burel and Josh M are also battling out. I'm not quite sure which battle to follow, but look at that. Burel gets the position up to P5, and Jamie, take this mic off me, otherwise you're never getting it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, good start there from, I believe, good start there from Lewis. He had a really good start there, and obviously I'm afraid Danny is slightly desynced on my stream, so I can't get the feel for what he's doing. But look at this fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, those tightly close together. And Toxic's matter, what start he had up to 7th place, and White Fountain from the back of the grid up to 15th. A lot of good starts there, but there's a bit of a train form up behind Toxic, behind Josh, and this is going to be really close. DRS is going to really affect him, and Danny he's got to close that DRS because he can't afford to let Lewis run away.
No, he can't. Midnight is trying to close in on the McLaren of Toxic lap after lap. Well, I should say sector after sector, because that would be more accurate. As you can see, their cars are running wide on the exit of turn 13. Although it's still a mandatory 2-stop strategy, keeping your tyres in good nick around Bahrain is a necessity.
Yeah, these soft tyres, as I said, these soft tyres, they wear out quite quickly, so that's a key factor. As DRS is going to be enabled, they're going to be enabled down this back straight, so we might see a bit more overtaking, but obviously with these cars so close together, there might be a train forming up, so these cars, they may shoot to pass each other, but look at Louis doing the right job there, he's just watching that DRS, so we've got and there's nobody really close to overtake. Leroy's looking at his teammate, but he's a bit too far back.
Well, I was going to say Ventink was looking down the inside of Zach there in towards turn 1, but the door was always closing and he had to get out of that one. And Zach holds on to P11 for now. I have to say, outside of the top 10, they are much closer here. You can see Cohen trying to close in on Ventink as we head down towards turn 8 for the third time in this race. Danny, though, is not letting Lewis get away. 7 tenths between them. No, and close, look at this, Danny within DRS range. Chappellele is in a bit of no man's land at the moment. 1.5 behind Danny, but crucially, 1.1 against Rafa, so he's out of DRS range for now. Midnight is not letting go of Toxic Tomato whatsoever.
No, he's climbing back from here, and obviously he's going to fancy the repass in turn 1 because he's section around it. It's very difficult to pass. You can do a pass down the final corner, but it's a bit pointless because he's going to let the other car DRS, so you're just better off just waiting to get the move done into turn 1.
You can see them running wide still at turn 13. I mean, some drivers think that will be the optimum line, but get that wrong and the back end's just going to lose it completely.
Yeah, I've seen a few guys actually do that where apparently you get good traction out there. I don't know how you get good traction off the racing line, but yeah, if you do that too much, then you are going to spin out because that gravel is very close there. As Midnight's going to have a run on Toxic Tomato this year for him. Toxic Tomato's got DRS on Josh, but look at Paris Burrell, he's in the back of Rafa here, and Rafa's going to be vulnerable about DRS.
Yeah, absolutely. Midnight has got to try and take these advantage where he can. Paris Burrell, meanwhile, has just been trying to eat into Rafa's gap here in towards turn 4, and he has done successfully because look at this, right on the back of his gearbox now as we head through the S section, through turn 6 and then through turn 7. Rafa here has got some defending to do against Paris Burrell as we head down towards turn 8.
Yeah, Rafa's going to be slightly vulnerable here because that McLaren's starting to pull away a little bit and he's going to fall close to the Mercedes driver who's looking really smooth. Obviously our Mercedes driver, our lead Mercedes driver, even though it gets a little bit twitchy out turn 10 though. It's quite difficult to get traction out there, especially in the front of the car because the dirty air effect can really kick you.
Look at this, Danny's also closing in on the Williams ahead. I mean, Paris Burrell and Danny MG are doing exactly the same thing here, trying to reel in a Mercedes, but we've got an incident. That's Taze Leroy around on the inside at turn 11 here. And what on earth has happened there to Leroy? Well, he's got the car back up and running. I wonder, did he clip the curb on the left or the right-hand side and spin?
Yeah. Contact from a car on the outside, or he just clipped the curb and spun around. Them curbs on there are quite lethal, so you can spin around there, but Lee's got no damage, but his tyres going to be slightly overheated.
Oh, here's Danny. Danny looking for a move down towards turn 1. Can he keep it in good stick here? Yes, he can. Through turn 2, now through turn 3. But now Lewis, will he have the DRS now? Yes, he will now. Into the slipstream of Danny, who defends to the right-hand side of the track. Lewis will have to go the long way round at turn 4, but it's a very wide apex here. You can see there the Mercedes not willing to give the Williams much room as we now head through turn 6. Now Lewis getting the move done up the inside at turn 7 here. Can he try and hold on? Yes, he can. And Lewis retakes the lead. That was some bravery, but it's paid off.
Yeah, two great drives and a great battle. That's how you race side by side. And yes, it is doable, but you've got to give each other enough room, and they did that. Give each other a lot, just enough room and a lot of respect. We've got another spinner, I believe.
Yeah, it's Hamilton. It's Hamilton here. I believe that was a spin at turn 7. Now, I don't know whether he clipped the curb or not, but one of them has got a 5-second penalty for cutting the corner and gaining a place. I'm not sure who it was then. It just flashed up on my screen and I missed it. But interesting, though, Lion and Toxic both in very early for their first medium stint of the race.
I can only presume they've had slight wind damage, but that's quite an early pit stop, and you've got to go a long way in the medium tyres. I mean, I'm quite surprised by that. I thought the pit stops around lap 6, lap 7, so I can only presume they've got a bit of wind damage on the fancy and aggressive overcut. But
Danny in.
Undercut. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, don't apologise whatsoever. There's a flurry of cars heading into the pits now on lap number 5 as Lewis here will start the 6th lap here of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Paris Burel there in 2nd place with Midnight in 3rd. Look at this then. Zach having to defend from Ventic. In towards turn 1 they go. Both of them on the medium tyres. Ventic has the inside line for turn 2. Can Zach try a little bit of a cutback then over the line at turn 3? But now, has he got the DRS then? I don't think he has. Ventic is able to use the DRS to get away upwards towards turn 4, and Ventic seals for what right now is P4.
Yeah, Danny had an awful pit up there. He's fallen behind Rafa, Shapalele and Josh. I don't know what happened there, but his pits up really awful. He's lost a lot of time there, so that's an advantage to Lewis.
Yeah, that is Josh, who's rejoined on a set of soft tyres, having to go round the long way round at turn 4. Can he try and get the move done? It's still side by side now as we head in towards 5, now through turn 6, and then down the hill at turn 7. He's got the inside line here, and surely that's the move done for Josh M. Gets the move done on Rafa.
Yeah, he had to get that done. He's got the tyre advantage at the moment. He has to get that done. He has to pull a gap on Rafa, because I believe Rafa will be on them softs the final stint. So Josh has got to push now and try and close that gap to Lewis in the lead.
Westy's got the move done on Harry, or has he? There's a little bit of desync between the two of them there, and I think Harry's internet's just had a little bit of a moment, but I think that's the accurate location of where he is now. If that is the accurate location, he's just gone purple through Sector 2.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but yeah, Lewis and Paris both coming in. What, Midnight staying out, interestingly enough, so he inherits the lead.
So maybe he's trying to extend the soft tyre stints. Meanwhile, Zach is having a look at Ventic here. He goes to the left-hand side with DRS. These two swapping positions every lap at the moment. Now Zach has to go round the outside at turn 1. Is there any space for him at turn 2? Oh, he tried to make their room. I think Ventic tried to shut the door, but Zach's front wing was still there, and they both realised what was going to happen. Meanwhile, Cohen here tries to take advantage. He now has to go round the outside at turn 4. Can he try and make this move stick again? Look at this. Zach's trying to shut the door on the Toro Rosso, and it's worked this time, has it? Yes, it has. Cohen has to drop back and falls to P4. Josh M, meanwhile, gets the move done on Paris Burel here, and look at this. Rafa's not done with Paris Burel. Now he goes up the inside in towards turn 4 here. He's not got a lot of room, and he clips the curb there. That costs stability in the car, and he has to fall back again, and almost 3 wide through turn 4.
Yeah, almost. And yet again, Josh has pulled the moves off when he needs to, and now he needs to try and get out the DRS of these two and try and pull a gap, because he's got time advantage at the moment, but them softs will die off quickly.
Absolutely, and the thing with two-stop strategy is as it stands, Jamie, is giving us some absolutely brilliant on-track action.
Yeah, getting side by side. Also, two-stop, you tend to be a little more aggressive. You don't tend to save the tyres as much, so yeah, the drivers are pushing a lot more, and we're getting great racing. That Lewis-Danny battle was incredible.
It surely will be towards the end of this race. Meanwhile, then, we've still got lots of battles happening all across the track. Midnight finally into the pits, then 6 laps on those soft tyres. I wonder if that's a sign for things to come for him as he heads into the pit lane for the first time. Remember, of course, 2-stop mandatory strategy here has to be done. You can do more than 2 stops if you really want to, but 2 stops is the minimum. Ventic now will inherit the lead, but we're riding on board with Paris Burel because he's got some attacking and some defending to do here.
Yeah, this is the worst situation to be. Attack and defend, and he's just got to be careful here. But that DRS is really powerful. Look how much he's gained on Josh down that straight. Incredible.
Danny's got the move done there on Lion for P11. He moves up a position through turn 3, but who will have the DRS heading up the hill? Danny has it, and he'll be able to pull away from the racing point. He put that move to perfection there to stop Lion getting the DRS run on him through turn 4.
Midnight past Toxic Tomato as well. He's up to 13th place. So I believe Toxic Tomato at the moment.
Oh, Midnight is right on the back of Lion. He could try a move down towards turn 8 here. He's along the inside here, in towards turn 8. They've both given each other space, but now he's going to be on the outside for turns 9 and 10, which is not really a place you want to be. Tries to switch back, down now the inside at turn 10. A little bit of contact between the two of them there. Lion's going to have the better exit because, of course, the Red Bull had the inside line, so couldn't get the power down quickly enough. But let's see as they go side by side in towards turn 11. Midnight's got the inside line through 11 and gets the move done through turn 12. A little bit of a scrappy move, but Midnight's got the position.
Yeah. It was a bit of contact at line. Lugs on the inside here, though. That was a bit too optimistic for him. But yes, Lion pitted really here. Look how much time he gave. He's battling these guys with his self-attacking ground to just show you how advantageous the undercut is. But I believe his tyres will wear off a bit quicker as Lewis sets the fastest lap. So He's got 2-second lead over Shapalele, and he's on the back of White Car, and he wants to get his move done down the straight if possible.
Paris Buell looking for a move on Josh M. He's trying to go around the outside at turn 1. Josh might have the better traction through turns 2 and 3, which he does, and the Renault is able to hold on to the position. But Paris Buell here has the DRS on the Renault, goes left, goes right, then goes back to the left, round the outside at turn 4. He will have to go, and they're giving each other the room here. Josh runs a little bit deep, makes contact, and is around a Williams and a Renault together. Josh M and Rafa come together as there was contact made, and a safety car has been deployed on lap 9 of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Josh M out of the race. We're down to 18 runners, and there was just that little bit of contact between himself and Paris Buell on the exit of 4, and I think Rafa in that one just didn't know what happened at all.
No, there's a bit of touch there, and you just spun around. See, that's when you're having your racing close. You're racing so closely together. One guy just makes a little mistake. That could happen. You can steer him up. But look at these front three. These front three, they can all pit and they can be right back in the race.
Yeah, there's 2 drive-through penalties awarded for Rafa. Rafa, one of them, and Leroy, the other, for speeding under the safety car. Of course, you have to meet a delta here. And if you exceed that delta, you will be slapped on the wrist with a drive-through. Let's see who pits then.
Harry's got a drive as well. Yeah, I believe his front three will all pit, surely.
They surely will, as Venting there gets a 5-second penalty slapped on the wrist there for speeding in the pit lane. He won't be able to serve it at this one. He'll have to serve it at his next stop, because of course this is his first stop. White Fountain also in. Shapalele also in. He's only been on those tyres for 3 laps. So is Paris Buell here. So lots of these drivers trying to get their second stop out of the way.
Yeah, I'm going hard tyres, but I'm not sure this is the right decision, is it? And I mean, they can get to the end, but surely they're going to be sitting ducks.
Well. Who says a safety car doesn't spice up races? I don't think anybody has. But the point is, Danny NG is your new leader for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And look at that. Zach has emerged in second place on a set of the soft tyres.
Yeah. Look at him. He was at the back. And look at him. He's in second place on the fresh tyres. Danny in the leads on old mediums. Danny's staying out. So he's going to try and do a Lewis Hamilton in... Try and do a Lewis Hamilton at Silverstone, but I don't know if he can do that. But yeah, got all the guys behind a bit. I believe 16 cars pitted down that safety car. 15 cars pitted down that safety car.
15. Yeah. Unbelievable. Well, here's the thing. Here's the important stat. You can see everyone has made at least 1 stop here so far tonight, and the first person, or the highest running person who's already made 2 stops, is Lewis. He's running on the hard tyres, hoping to get to the end of the race. Now, Zach has only made 1 stop. He's on the soft tyres, so he's sticking with medium tyres to the end. And as you say, Jamie, this strategy is really going to be on full show here, because you've got some drivers who are wanting to go on the medium tyres towards the end of the race, which will be the quicker tyre in the grand scheme of things. Others have got their 2 stops out of the way. They've put on the hard tyres and are just going to try and manage them to the end.
Yeah, we could do that. Or they're going to maybe, I don't know, maybe do a free, maybe towards the end of the race. But if you go on the hard tyres now, surely you commit to the end of the race. Unless another safety car comes out, of course. So yeah, that's interesting. We said we won't see the hard tyres, but that safety car has definitely brought him into play, because he can get the hard to the end from here. This is a typical sort of pit stop on a typical one-stop race, so you can definitely get to the end, but I just feel these guys are going to be sitting ducks. I like the Danny at the end, who's going to be on a really quick tyre, so intriguing for sure. And whoever that guy, I can't remember that guy in the previous interview said 100% safety car, well, they'll prove him right.
Absolutely proven right, but we now head on to lap 11. We have a handful of laps to go in this one, as we see Leroy in the pits to go on to a brand new set of tyres, but of course he can't serve his drive-through penalty under safety car conditions. He has to wait for the green flag, and then he's got 3 times across the start-finish line before he'll get penalised with a disqualification.
Rafa, Harry and Leroy have got that, I believe, so them 3 will be coming in. I wonder if they'll come in straight away down to see if they get some clean air, or will they just try and hang on the back of the pack. I'm interested in what they'll do, but yeah, I believe as soon as Leroy catches the pack up again, we'll go racing against the safety cars. Just tend to come back in when the pack is bunched up.
Absolutely, and this really opens it up, because those that are on the hard tyres right now, they've committed to the end of the race. Now, obviously, we've got fastest lap of the race bonus points for those inside the top 10 and those outside of the top 10. So you would think then those on the harder tyres are committing to getting the race result rather than the fastest lap bonus point.
Yeah, but I believe so. But if they do drop out the top 10, they'll surely come in and just stick set softs on towards the end to go for fastest lap. Yeah, so they'll be looking to get a result. But if the tyres drop off or they're not in a good position, then they'll definitely just come in and put some softs on. So there'll be quite a few free stops I predict today.
So I know now, I get the idea why Leroy came into the pits not at the regular time when everyone else did, when the safety car was deployed. I think he's wanted to drop to the back of the grid because he's got the drive-through anyway, so that's where he's going to end up. Safety car is in this lap then, so we're going to start lap 12 under green flag conditions now. Danny becomes effectively the safety car. He can't be passed, and the green flag will be waved once everyone crosses the start-finish line, or I should say the leader does. You can't overtake until you are past the start-finish line. There is no more safety car line. Once the safety car enters the pit lane, Danny is then free to restart the race on his own accord. The question is, though, when will he go for it? He now heads down towards 13, 14 and 15, and he's gone for it now. Look at this. He'll now go for it. A little bit of a tail out of the last corner, but he heads towards that start-finish line to restart the race here. We are under the green flag again. Danny leads from Zach and Tim Ventic. Cohen then in fourth with Westy in fifth. Lewis there is in sixth place, and Lewis looking for a move down the inside. Not going to happen, or is it? He chose a late time to basically take his nose out of that battle. Meanwhile, it's just single line formation as we head now up towards turn 4, which is kind of expected really, as Danny really pushes the track limits on the outside of turn 4.
Yeah, Lewis on the inside of Westy, he gets a move done up to fifth place.
Yeah, nice move from Lewis. He knows that move needs to be done because Westy's on an entirely different strategy, and that's going to be the key word for the rest of the stream here, JB, is going to be strategy. Yeah. Which one will be the one that pays off?
Yeah, so Danny had a really good safety car race that day, because even the Sakhir was on the really nailed it, and good to see. And Louis, yeah, that's a crucial move for him because Louis is quite a bit quicker than Westy, so he has to get that move done. And look at Chapelele. Chapelele will be getting a bit restless down that Renault. He
will indeed, and of course, Westy though on the medium tyres, as you see there, Chapelele's on the hard tyres. It was a great restart from Danny, but Zach has got to try and close in on the Mercedes because he's on the softest tyre. He's the only car out there on the soft tyre, so he's got to try and make this pay dividends. He's got one more stop to make in this race.
You need to pass Danny really, just to get some clear air and put some good laps in, because he's definitely committed to the free stop with that strategy. And yeah, so he needs to get that move done quickly. Obviously, we know DRS this lap, but next lap he might have an opportunity.
Oh, there's a car. That's Hamilton who spun around at the final corner. That looked like he just dropped it on his own. But he's around at the final corner. Virtual safety car deployed, presumably to clear up that debris as Hamilton now limps back to the pit lane.
Rafa's coming through his drive-through now. Does that mean he's served his drive-through or
That's a good question. No, he's pitting. So Rafa into the pits. I think he just came in. Rafa now retires. I think he's realised now what has happened. As both drivers wanted to come in to serve their drive-through, then the virtual safety car was deployed right there and then, meaning they couldn't serve their drive-through. That is unbelievably bad luck.
Yeah.
And we're under green. Green flag racing again. And Cohen here on the back of Ventig through towards turn 8 here. Yellow flags in sector 1. That will be to cover the retired car of Rafa then, who parks us up for the day. I can really understand his frustration there, but rules are rules. If there's a virtual safety car or a safety car, you cannot serve your drive-through penalty, and unfortunately for them, they'd already committed.
Yeah, I think he was ahead of Hamilton. It was just bad luck for him. Yeah, it's just not a good return for Rafa, but there's still plenty of time this season, so I just. Better days will come. We've got another spinner. We've got another spinner there.
Harry.
But yeah, Harry's spun it around again. The Haas cars are struggling today.
Yeah, they are, but he's managed to recover with no damage and is able to get back underway. Meanwhile, then Cohen is on the back of Tim Venting as we head now down towards the last corner. Cohen kind of misses the exit or the apex there and runs wide, and Lewis says, "Thank you very much. I'm going to try and take this position away from you." DRS is now enabled, and he's trying to go side by side with Cohen there, but Cohen has got a much slipperier car down the main straight. Now heading towards turn 1, he'll try and move down the inside inside. Ventic up ahead of them, locks up. That could be a target for Lewis in the end, but now heading through turn 2. Cohen squeezes Lewis there through turn 3 there. I don't think Lewis will be very appreciative of that as we head now up the hill towards turn 4. Lewis is the inside line, last of the late breakers. Can he get that thing signed, sealed and delivered? Yes, he can. Up to P4 he goes. That was more difficult than maybe expected there. Cohen put up a huge fight, but he got the move done.
Yeah, Cohen's got a really slippy car there. He just got a lot, even though despite he went deep as final corner.
Oh, that's Lion. Oh, sorry, Jamie, that's Lion going up the inside. I thought he wasn't going to stop that one. He's now side by side with White Fountain, and White Fountain is around now. Contact between the two of them, and now the Toro Rosso's around.
Yeah, he's clattered the Pirelli signs there. Not a good race for White Fountain at the back of the field, and contact there, and he's got wind damage, I believe, so he's going to have to pit again. So, what the best race for the Toro Rosso guys?
Yeah, also the stewards believing that it's safe enough for the marshals out there to pick up that debris without having to call a virtual safety car to basically neutralise the race. But my goodness, we're at half race distance now. We've seen a safety car and a virtual safety car, and we've seen some great racing. We've seen some drama too. I mean, still got half the race left, Jamie. Yeah. What could happen now?
We've got Danny. Danny's put some really good pace now. Danny's got to pull a gap now. He's got to try and pull a gap and come out. He's definitely going to come out behind these guys hard tyres, but he's going to have so much more tyre advantage. I believe Danny, if he keeps his pace up, he can win this race. As Lewis gets a move done, Nick no. So Lewis gets his move done. He's going to get clean air, so he can try and minimise damage. But look at Wet Nick. He's going to try and get move back on. But Lewis is really late on the brake. I think Lewis has his cover on the braking, and he does.
He's so confident on the brakes, is Lewis. Now that's third place. Meanwhile, Paris Burel has got up the inside of Westy there and makes that move stick. Next target for him will be Shapalele just up ahead of him. And Danny here leading the way, 2.4 seconds. The problem for Zach is that now these soft tyres are pretty much past their peak. They are going off, so he's got to make a pit stop soon. And I assume that'll be for the medium tyres. That will get him to the end of the race.
Yeah, he's to the end, but he's going to drop to 4th place, I believe. So he's going to have a lot of work to do. But he's going to have pressure try his guys ahead. But what he wants now is probably another safety car. That'll help him. That'll help Danny as well, because Danny will be able to pit and he'll be able to keep his position. Because he comes out, all these guys will pit mediums.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 15 laps to go, 14 and a bit if you're picky, as Danny makes his way now down towards the final 2 corners. Here we go, on board with Danny as he heads towards that start-finish line. Zach is in second place. Lewis, the first or the highest running 2-stopper at this moment in time, in third place, with Ventic in 4th, Cohen in 5th, Shapalele in 6th, Paris Burel 7th, with Westy in 8th, Midnight in 9th, and Lion rounds out the top 10. Lakitu, we haven't really spoken much about Lakitu. He's there in 11th place.
He's under a quiet race. Obviously, he's in the pack and he's on their medium tyres. So
sorry, Westy and Midnight, they were going side by side through turn 2. Sorry to cut across you there.
Yeah, Midnight's going to get a good run here though, but Westy's got DRS, so Midnight's going to sink down the inside. Is he surely he's going to do that? I've seen him do it in the past. Westy's hanging on around the outside and get the better exit. And he does. West, good defending there from Westy.
Yeah, great defending there. Midnight just tried to really get that switchback done. It just didn't quite work for him. No. Oh, late braking into turn 8 there. Almost ran into the back of the Renault, but just managed to stop the car in time with 14 laps to go here at Bahrain. I mean, so much has happened in the previous 16 laps. Where on earth have you been if you're just joining us now? Great to have you along with us. Such high numbers as well for the first race of the season. I hope this hypes you up for the rest of the season to come. Yes, this is only half of one race you're watching here. Just stay with us for the rest of the season. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah, this tier is definitely changes the season. Definitely works. This tier has been exciting so far. As Lewis, he'll surely be starting to close on Zach soon. But Zach's doing a decent job on them soft tyres. I have to say, his pace, he's chopping off a little bit, but he's doing a good job managing them. And I think he's on the good result here. If he can pit and get some clean air.
Yeah, the main thing is that he's pulling a gap on Lewis. That's what he needs to do right now. Meanwhile, then, Shapalele is looking at the back of Cohen, looking down towards the inside. Cohen, look at this. Shapalele braking as late as possible, locking up into turn 1. That's going to allow Cohen to try and slip back through. Shapalele makes contact with the rear tyre there, and Paris Burel, I think, ran into the back of the McLaren there and has lost a bit of front wing. Still looking for the move up the inside in towards turn 4. A little bit of contact between the two of them there as Shapalele Shapalele runs off the track. Paris Buell does have front wing damage, and that's not good as he wanted to make this stint last towards the end. Shapalele's looking to try and get a move past. He looks like he's fired up here. Round the outside at turn 8 we go, and can he try and find this move here? Again, Paris Buell tries to shut the door. Shapalele is not having it here through turn 9, downwards towards turn 10. He's running to the back of the Mercedes, and Shapalele runs off the track there. With Paris Buell now having front wing damage, Shapalele should have known that through the mid-speed corners he was going to struggle.
Yeah, in my opinion, that was just a bit rash. But the first corner he broke a little bit too late, and I could see him just running deep, and that allowed Cohen back through, and then Paris was lucky there, because he was in this party up straight, hitting the back wing damage, but Shapalele there, that was just a little bit. No, that was just a little bit over aggressive, and he paid for it now. Because any chance to win has gone for him. He's got damage as well, so yeah.
Oh, look at this Lion here, looking at the inside of Westy. Oh, loses that back end and goes into Westy and collects him there. Lost the back end. Westy's out of the race here, and safety car deployed. Another car as Shapalele, Westy and Lion all out of this race, and another safety car's been deployed there, and that's just that split second where Lion lost the back end, and that's all it needed to collect the rear end of Westy there, and it just went out of control in a split second. Safety car deployed, and Lewis here might be thinking, if I've got a spare set of medium tyres, I'm going to put them on right now.
Yeah, and this is actually decent for Paris as well, because he got that wind damage. But look, he's pitting now. He's going to be in fresh tyres. He's not going to lose that much time. So Paris is back in this race as well. So yeah, I believe all these hard guys would definitely pit for a set of softs. I believe softs will go to the end now, so they'll pit for a set of softs, I believe, and we'll have a shootout at the end.
Yeah, 3 cars out of this race. Safety car is rightly deployed as we now go under the second safety car session of the night. But Danny is in the lead, and this is a good advantage for Danny because he can now make his second stop. As for Zach as well, he can now make a pit stop under the safety car conditions, rejoin on a set of medium tyres, and not lose as much time as maybe he thought here. What this means is that Lewis has a big decision to make. Does he stay out on these hard tyres and make these tyres last to the end of the race, which they can, or does he pit in and try on another set of tyres to get himself to the end? Big question he's got to answer here from himself in terms of strategy.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough, because these guys will be coming on the pit lane now. As you can see, that safety car pulling out the pit lane now. As he's waiting for the leader, and Danny stays out. Sorry, that bit of lag on my screen, yeah. They're all going to come in, I believe.
Yeah, Zach's come in and gets himself a 5-second stop go. Lewis comes in, a 5-second stop go. Venting gets himself one as well. Cohen's the first one into the pits that doesn't get one. Midnight gets one, so does Latif. What, are they missing their braking points here in the pit lane tonight?
Yeah, well, Harry's got a drive. Guy's got yet another drive-through penalty for speeding on the safety car, so not a good race for him. Yeah, don't know what's going on. About 4 or 5 cars got speed in pit lane, and that's going to really hurt Lewis' chance of winning this race. So I believe Danny has to be the big favourite now, because I don't believe he's got a penalty and he's got track position.
Well, I mean, if they're all speeding into the pit lane, then none of them are. That's what the penalties basically say. But I believe Cohen was one of the only ones there that didn't get a 5-second stop go for soft tyres for Zach and Cohen. Yeah. Medium tyres for Lewis. I mean, yes, the soft tyres will have the advantage. We saw Zach take them 8 laps in this race. We have 11 to go. So what they're banking on is the safety car to be out for a longer period of time.
Looking at this map, there are a few cars that are quite a bit away from the safety car. So I think it'll stay out for 2 or 3 laps. Let these guys catch up. So I believe we'll have Tomato retires on the safety car. What's that about?
Well, I'm not entirely sure there, but he is out. And what this means is that some of these drivers have a decision to make. Of course, you get fastest lap inside the top 10. You also get fastest lap outside of the top 10. So if your race is going badly, the least you could do is try and get to the checkered flag, put on a set of softs, even if it is for the last 3 laps, and try and set the fastest lap outside the top 10.
There's only 30 runners left, so yeah, you might as well do that. Yeah. Like Sir White Fountain, who hasn't had a good race. Look, he surely would do that. I believe White Fountain will definitely go fastest lap, because, and you've got like Hamilton and Harry. They can get Hamilton and Harry. They've had not the best point, but they can definitely get some points here. Just keep on the island. So the rate we're going at the moment, we're going to have less than 10 finishes.
Well, let's have a look at that. 13 in the race so far. As we head towards lap 20, we will have 10 laps to go once we cross that start-finish line this time around for the 20th time this race. And it is Danny who leads here at the Bahrain Grand Prix, and he's just trying to get some heat into those medium tyres here. You'd think it'd be difficult at a track like Bahrain not to have heat in the tyres, but I mean they're proving that you do need to go left and right to get heat into those tyres.
Yeah, well, it would have been an issue from 2014 to 2013. It was like when it's a daylight track. I think in the night time it's still quite warm, but it's not as hot as midnight's coming in as well as Wetnick. They're both coming in, so that's interesting.
Yeah, Midnight serving his 5-second stop go, which you can do under the safety car. Then now on go the new medium tyres. So what that does is neutralise his penalty in the pit lane, and the Alfa Romeo does the same. Tim Venting comes in, puts on another set of soft tyres. That should get him to the end of the race, but he's also served his 5-second stop go. That's
quite clever, because they haven't lost that many places, actually, truthfully, so they'll catch the back of the field and they can fight for true position now. So yeah, that is quite clever. I'm quite surprised none of these leaders have done that, but I suppose they don't lose the track position.
Absolutely. Make sure as well, if you're enjoying tonight's proceedings, if you're absolutely loving it, I know I am, I know Jamie is too, make sure you do subscribe to the channel down below. One Hub Racing, sponsored by Next Level Racing. You can follow them on Twitter. It's at Next LVL Racing. They are our sponsors for this season, and of course the winner from each tier will get the prize from them, as Westy's left the session. Now, he was retired anyway, so I thought he was still running. I thought, oh no, that's a connection issue. No, Westy's out, so that's fine. But and also you can follow the league on Twitter as well. It's at One Hub Racing, all one word. Who figured? It's a Twitter handle. And if you're liking the commentary so far, let's just have a self-plug in there. You can follow me at KS McGinley. You can also follow Jamie Metcalf, and I believe Jamie hasn't changed, at Jamie Met92.
No, exactly. It's got 51 viewers to watch this Fowler Good race. That's some of our highest figures. So thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully we have an entertaining final 10 laps. Safety car is coming in.
10 lap dash to the line. In fact, it's going to be 9 laps now dash to the line, as Danny now bunches up the pack. Now remember, he's allowed to bunch the pack up as long as it's a consistent pace. He can't just put on the anchors and stop the entire field. It is a consistent pace, and remember, you have to get to that start finish line before you're allowed to overtake. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty consistent pace from Danny. It's quite a slow pace, but now look, he's gone for it. Now in towards 14 and 15, and with 9 laps to go, now he delays the throttle application there, which caught Zach out, but now heading down towards the start-finish straight. Cohen could try and take full advantage. Green flag racing for the 3rd time here tonight, as Cohen looks for a move down the inside on the Ferrari here, down towards turn 1. The other Ferrari of Lakitu here is at a quiet race, tries to get a move done. Zach gets the switchback. Lewis out of nowhere takes away another position. Paris Burel up to 5th place. Lakitu down to 6th here. Hectic start, but no damage from any of the cars so far. Midnight gets a few positions as well. Lakitu watching this battle up ahead. Paris Burel trying to get up the inside of Cohen, then through turn 4. They run side by side now as we head through turn 5, now 6, and down the hill through turn 7. The Toro Rosso on the inside. Paris Burel still on the outside on those medium tyres. Look at her move down the inside. Lakitu tries to and force it up the inside there. Gets a little bit out of shape, and now Cohen tries to take his position now. Round the outside at turn 9, now coming down towards turn 10. Lakitu gets onto the curb there, and a little bit of contact between them. Flavel, who we haven't seen all race, tries to get the better traction out of turn 10, and now onwards towards turn 11. You can see that Ferrari front wing is lurking there down the inside. Late braking from Lakitu, and he's got the move done, or has he? Because Flavel comes back. Obviously, the Ferrari left his braking late and moves down towards P7, but yeah, Flavel now up to 6th place. He's been out of the action for all this race, but he's now where he needs to be in these closing stages on the medium tyres with only a handful of laps to go.
That's what these safety cars can do. They can be nowhere, but then you come in, put a fresh set of tyres on, you suddenly get a second win. It's Cohen had an awful restart there. He lost 3 places, I believe, and he was looking at 2nd place, but it all went wrong for him. And Lewis sneaked by. Lewis try and get past Zach. Obviously, the race was going to be difficult for him with his penalty, but he want to try and get past Zach, maybe try and get 2nd place.
Yeah, Lakitu trying to go up the inside, this time on Ollie Flavel, and he's got the move done. Meanwhile, Flavel is now under pressure from Leroy as they climb the hill up towards turn 4. Flavel having to defend on the inside line, and that is the racing point of Leroy, having to go round the long way. Lakitu loses that back end slightly through turn 4. Luckily, it doesn't cost him any positions, but there you can see the racing point of Leroy up the inside as we head now down the hill through turn 7 and then towards turn 8. There you can see the racing point has got the move done. Up to 7th place he goes. Close quarters in general. I've been loving this.
Yeah, they've been, majority of this race has been excellent side by side, and yes, is really good. His team stints on the inside of White Fountain. He gets into White Fountain on hard tyres. I'm quite surprised by that. I don't like on hard tyres, but there you go.
I think he might be looking for a soft stint with 4 or 3 laps to go. I think that's my thinking for White Fountain. He had a spin a couple of laps ago, a couple of laps before the safety car at turn 3. So he was well and truly down on his luck there. But Danny is just trying to run away with this one to the checkered flag. Opened up a 1.5 second lead over Zach.
Yeah, he's looking really good. Obviously, Zach on them soft tyres again. So it's going to be quite difficult to Zach to get him tyres up. But he's doing quite a job there. Lewis is catching slowly, but Zach can definitely get a podium here. He has to keep these power now, because I believe both got penalties.
DRS is now online then, as look at this Haas then of Hamilton looking for a move around the outside this time of Ollie Flavel in towards turn 1, trying to go around the outside. He'll have the inside line for turn 2, and he's got that move done. Flavel struggled for traction and grit through there. Now Midnight gets to have a run on his teammate then up the hill through turn 4. Yeah, you can see that's Ollie Flavel trying to go up the inside in towards turn 4, but he's lost the back end and makes contact with his teammate, loses a chunk of front wing there, and Flavel trying to make a move up the inside. The back end deceived him, and unfortunately he steered right into his teammate, just nowhere to go, and he's lost himself a chunk of front wing.
I'm not sure if Hamilton or Ollie or Flavel touched. I'm not sure if the touch on if Flavel just dropped it like Vettel did, obviously in the 2019 race. But yeah, Flavel's got to get wing damage now. He's going to come in and go for soft tyres, and his only hope now is to get fast to that point, because he's not going to keep them guys with that level of wing damage.
6 and a bit laps to go then here in the Pinnacle tier this evening. It's been one heck of a race. This hasn't been short of drama, you can at least say that. Danny leads the way though from Zach and Lewis in 3rd place, with Burrell not too far behind then in 4th place, looking to try and make a move on Lewis. Zach though, he's in 2nd place for now. The only problem is his soft tyres are going to go off a cliff sooner rather than later.
Yeah. But he's doing a good job though. He's really gaining on him, and now Paris Burrell has got good on Lewis. He could get 3rd place off the Williams driver.
Here he goes then, down the inside here will go against a Williams that has 0 DRS then, down towards turn 1, but Burrell misses his braking point. This could be a chance for Welsh here to try and get the grip and the traction and the run through turns 2 and 3, but he just doesn't quite have the grip there. I can see why. Has he got front wing damage on the right hand side? I think he has. Yes, he has. That may be why he might be struggling for the grip through the corners. Lakita meanwhile and Leroy going side by side there through turn 4, now through turn 5 and through turn 6. Oh, the Ferrari's around. Lakita there spun round at turn 6 and now has to go across the gravel to try and rejoin that race there. Bit of a hard one to tell from that camera angle, but I know Lakita will not be happy.
No, I think that'll be in the series for sure. I wasn't sure how to judge that one, so I couldn't join it quite late. But there, Lakita is on for a good race there. I believe Lakita could have maybe got a podium there, but it's all gone wrong for him. He's down to 12th place. Them tyres, they'll be very overheated now. We'll have to wait a couple laps to cool them down.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, then, Lewis is falling up behind Burrell here, 0.6 of a second at the moment. And meanwhile, Danny's just trying to run away with this one. 2.8 now to the gap to 2nd place of Zach here in the Ferrari. Burrell there in 3rd place now, 0.7 ahead of Lewis. Cohen is a bit further behind. He's also on the soft tyres. Same scenario as Zach, really, as Leroy now will look to try and open up the DRS to try and attack Cohen. Cohen instantly knows he's under pressure because he's already starting to defend on the outside on the exit of turn 14 and 15. Now Leroy down the inside. Late braking then from Leroy. Can he stop that car in time? Yes, he can. And the Racing Point now moves up to 5th place ahead of the Toro Rosso. Midnight then in 7th place. Hamilton under pressure from Tim Venting because they head up the hill towards turn 4. Flavel with that front wing damage is obviously going to be struggling. Is he going to fall into the clutches of White Fountain late on into this race? Lewis has just gone purple through sector 1. Something inside him is now reborn. He's on the pace now.
Yeah, that might be helped by the DRS he had of the car ahead, but yeah, these two are trying to gain on Zach now, and Paris hasn't got a penalties at the moment. It's looking like a Mercedes 1-2. Where have you heard that before?
I don't know, Jamie. Never heard of that happening ever in the history of F1. But look at this behind them as well. Battle for 6th place. Cohen leading that battle right now. Midnight is right behind as well. In fact, it goes up to 5th place if you're in technicalities, because Leroy in 5th, Cohen 6th, Midnight in 7th, Hamilton in 8th, Venting 9th, and Flavel is just about 3 seconds behind that battle. So he's trying his best to try and hold on. There's no point point for him pitting now unless he tries to go for the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I expect the carry to come in. He's a long way off, so I expect him to come in for soft tyres. Everybody else, let's stay out because if it comes few cars ahead, 1.5 laps great, but if you get like a 9th place, that's a better result. So let these guys stay out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as these guys got 5th, 6th, 7th, get a podium coming off here because a couple of these guys had, I believe, got the 5-second penalty, so it could become a podium fight. This, not sure what the guys behind got in terms of penalties, but.
Ventink gets the move done, then he moves up to 8th place ahead of Hamilton in towards turn 1, helped of course with DRS. Cohen right behind Leroy here, but Leroy's got that move done. And what now for the soft tyre runners? Well, in terms of the leading soft tyre runner, Zach, he's slowly but surely falling into the clutches of Paris Burel here. 0.6 of a second. He's now 3.8 behind Danny at this moment in time as Paris Burel looks to try and close in on this Ferrari sooner rather than later. Lakitu gets the move done on White Fountain. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2. I'm not quite sure what they were for because everyone was still moving in the right direction.
Phantom yellow flag, I think. That's the phantom yellow flag because no one's spinning around on my screen, so yeah, ignore that.
Ignore it, yeah. Ignore the yellow flags. It's what race drivers do, isn't it? They ignore the yellow flag. Anyway, Paris Burel here closing in half a second just over behind Zach here, and he looks ready for this one, turning up that ERS, then turning up the engine mode too as he looks to try and make a move down towards turn 1. Midnight then is right on the back of Cohen. The difference between this battle is that Cohen will have DRS on Leroy ahead of him. That will help him out defending. For Paris Burel though, Zach does not have DRS, but look at this. Zach is trying to keep it going in a straight line. He's doing well so far down towards turn 1, but look in the distance, look in the background as well. Leroy has to do some defending from Cohen here, will he? Cohen will be closing in. Cohen might try and chuck it up the inside. He doesn't this time.
It looks to get good exit out of here, but Leroy's got a better exit, and Leroy should be safe now. There's Lewis at the back of Paris, but he can't do anything about it because Paris has got DRS and Zach. So Leroy had a really good exit there out of turn 2, turn 3, and that really helped him defend that position.
Absolutely, and hopefully you are enjoying this as we head to the last 3 laps of this race. And so far it is Danny in the lead from Zach in 2nd place, but can Zach hold on, and what will happen in terms of on-track penalties? How will this unfold in the steward's office? You'll be able to find out the results on One Hub Racing Twitter page and website later on. Lakitu is around here.
And we need to hit the wall there. He's got 10 second penalty corner cut, and surely he'll come in and go for fastest lap. Yeah,
I think he will. He's got to. But Paris Burel here still on the back of this Ferrari. And if on-track penalties are the same thing, you'll be able to see here Zach drop down the order, probably alongside Lewis as well, because he's got that 5-second stop go that he hasn't served. Or has he? No, he must have served it because he came in for fresh tyres.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but we find out at way across the line anyway what happened. But yeah, I believe Lewis want to get the move done on Zach, but Lewis, I think that wind damage is really hurting him, especially in the middle sector. As Paris going to run on Zach here, but it's still up too far back. He looks to get a good exit out of here though, and he can then slingshot his way up the hill.
Here's Midnight looking for a late move down the inside of Cohen here in towards turn 1, and he's got that move done then, so Midnight moves up to 6th place. Meanwhile, Paris Burel there almost runs into the back of the Ferrari, tried to leave that braking late. But he's got to remember that Zach's on 9-lap-old soft tyres here. I don't think soft tyres were meant to be run this long.
They'll be like bricks at the moment, like driving a Fred Flintstone car. So I'm amazed. His pace, actually, considering his pace isn't that bad actually, but he's definitely fallen to the clutches of these two, and likes of Leroy Midnight are catching up, and if these guys catch up, one of these guys could snag a podium.
They could indeed, as Lewis tries his best to put the Mercedes under pressure as well. It's that caught in two minds. Lewis obviously wants to try and get past Paris Burel, but he's got to remember that they've got to both pass Zach as well. They both want to do it, and maybe there might be a sense of them working together to try and get this move done. Here we go then through turn 12 and then through turn 13. This is where Zach is really going to struggle because the apex is so late into the corner. But it looks like for now those soft tyres are just about holding it together. Danny momentarily will be starting the final lap of what has been a really dramatic Bahrain Grand Prix.
Yeah, Danny got helped out by that second safety car because he was, I think Lewis was on to win the race, and that safety car meant everybody got out of the pit, so he got to be thanked for that instance every crossing on Paris. Going to have a running on Zach. Surely the move's going to be done into turn 1. Yes, but can Zach fight back so he can get DRS in? He back up the hill. Got to be careful Louis though, because I think him and Louis in the same penalty situation.
Absolutely. Well, they now run through the top of the hill now as Zach will get that DRS run. Lewis will not be able to capitalise on that one. He'll have to try his move later on in the lap. But Zach's got to be careful about trying to attack Paris Burel. He's got to be careful about a hard-charging Lewis behind. Hamilton, meanwhile, just off the screen there. And Ventink are battling away. I think Hamilton actually let Ventink back through there for P8, so he's going to try again for that move. But at this moment in time, Danny here is going to be on course to try and take his first race win of the season, and the first win of the season here in the Pinnacle tier as he makes his way now onwards towards turn 11. Up the hill he'll go for the final time and to try and take his first race win of the season. Then through turn 12 we go, onwards then towards turn 13 in what has been a truly dramatic race that people were saying Lewis surely from this point is going to go on and win the race. But anything can happen in Formula 1, and it so usually does. Danny in towards turns 14 and 15 for the final time. He'll come towards the line to take the race win here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Danny wins in Sakhir. Paris Burel then will come across the line to make it a Mercedes 1-2 with the fastest lap as Lewis Welsh there finishes behind Zach, but Leroy jumps up into third place with penalties applied there. So that drops Zach to 4th, Lewis in 5th, Midnight 6th, Ventink there in 7th with Cohen in 8th, Hamilton there running in 9th place. Ollie Flavel rounds out the top 10. White Fountain in 11th. Lakitu will cross the line in 12th place when he gets there eventually, followed by Harry finishing in 13th place. Well, if we have a look at the fastest lap of the race, then Paris Burel is going to pick up the bonus point inside the top 10 with a 28.9 on the final lap. He really went for it and now picks up 19 points for his championship tally. At this moment in time, Harry B is going to be the one to take the final point for fastest lap in 13th place, unless Lakita can do anything about it. Yes, he can. He sets the fastest lap of the race then. Let's see if Harry B can respond to that one. I don't think he can because he's on used softs there, unless it comes up at the bottom of the screen. No, he can't. But there we go then. The first race of the season here in Bahrain is over, and Danny kept his cool to take the first race win of the season here in Bahrain.
Yeah, well done to him. Obviously, he took the gamble. Everyone else pitted on that first safety car, but he stayed out. And it actually, safety car came out on that first thing. He was trying to pull away a little bit, and even though Louis was probably the favourite to win, he was looking good for a decent result. But that second safety car definitely helped secure the lead. Everyone else had to pit again, and he never lost the lead from that safety car. So well done to him. That good battle with Lewis at the start, which was quite fun, and he actually was quite lucky in his first pit stop. He lost a lot of place. So I believe that gamble was forced, but it's definitely paid off for him. Look at that Mercedes 1-2 with the Racing Point car in third.
Well, now we move on to the official, unofficial results then of the Bahrain Grand Prix and the opening round here in One Hub Pinnacle tier. Danny takes the win with Paris Burel in second place, Leroy in third with Zach in fourth, Lewis in fifth with Midnight in sixth, Tim Ventink in seventh with Cohen in eighth, Hamilton ninth, and Flavel rounds out the top 10. White Fountain in 11th, Lakitu who picks up the bonus point outside the top 10 in 12th, and Harry B 13th. In that race, Toxic Tomato, Shapalele, Westy, Lion, Rafa and Josh M did not make it to the checkered flag. And here's the most difficult part of the night, Jamie, for you and myself. Driver of the day. We get to pick a driver each. You get to vote for them on Twitter. So, Jamie, let's start with you. Who's your driver of the day? Well,
first off, I'm going to say we never get this right, but I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Leroy. I think he had a bit of a quiet race in the background, but he kept his. He got really good moves, and he got a podium. So I'm going to go with Leroy. I think he's my nomination for driver of the day.
Well, let's see now. Let me think. Well, sometimes it's difficult not to vote for the race winner, but I can't look past the fact of Zach's performance. 11th to 4th, a really good drive from him. I think he's going to be my driver of the day here in Bahrain. And out of those two, it's your choice who the driver of the day is here in the Pinnacle tier. The way you can vote will be on Twitter at OneHub Racing. I believe voting opens tomorrow. But Jamie, wow, what a way to open it.
What a race. Yeah, what a race. That was incredible. And obviously, we don't know when we'll be back, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad we did this one because that was great.
Absolutely.
There was a bit of controversy, but a few instances. The stewards will be busy for sure, but what a good race. Bahrain does offer a good race, and a few guys there were a bit unlucky of instance, but there's always next week.
There is always next week, and you can tune in next week as well when we do it all over again. Jamie, we have to say it's probably going to be handed back to Alex. I'm probably going to do it begrudgingly because what a great race that was. What a great tier this is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think Alex was a bit frustrated last season. I think this season he'll be quite happy with what he's got because we've got a lot of really committed drivers and some really good close racing all the way across the field. And yeah, could see a few surprises this season.
I think we could, and there were drivers and teams and mainly spectators saying, it's going to be Lewis who's going to take the victory. He's going to be the one that wins the championship. Well, early days, and it is Danny at the top of the table. So that is where we stand, and that is where we leave off. Make sure you tune in next week as well as we go to the French Grand Prix next week. And hopefully you'll be joining One Hub Racing for that one. But in the meantime, make sure you do follow One Hub on Twitter at One Hub Racing. Follow the sponsor as well at Next LVL Racing, who are providing the championship winner with the prizes here this season. And if you like the commentary team, if you really want to, you can follow me on Twitter at KS McGinley. Good luck spelling that last name, it's almost impossible. But if you do want to spell it, it's McGinley. Again, good luck. And you can also follow Jamie on Twitter as well at JamieMet92. But Jamie, if that's the only Pinnacle tier race we commentate on, I'm full of jealousy.
Yeah, it's been a good one. Yeah, I'm glad we did this because it was good fun, and we didn't see each other for Abu Dhabi, so we didn't. But it's good to see each other again, and you never know, we might be back again. But I think Alex is going to really enjoy this. He's got a good set of drivers here, and I believe you're hosting the talk show on Sunday, I believe
so. Yes, absolutely. So make sure you look out for that one as well, where I'll be joining Jess for the talk show. But until next time, Jamie, we have to say goodbye to this race, to this stream, at least for now. So thank you very much for watching, and hope you did enjoy it. Until next time, I've been Kieran McGinley.
I've been Joe Mac.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.
Good night.